Recently, the Australian National University hosted an online forum with Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation and the Australian Water Partnership to discuss the opportunities and the challenges around pumped storage hydropower. Pumped storage is critical for storing extra electricity, and that means that if we move to much greater reliance on solar and wind, we can store the extra energy for use at peak times. And for that reason, it's crucial to support the rollout of renewable energy technologies across the Asia Pacific region and ultimately create a healthier planet. So we had participation from researchers, engineers, government officials and the business community, and were able to share knowledge, help create momentum and guidance to push towards a more sustainable energy future in this huge portion of the world.
The takeaways I had from the workshop was really understanding some of the international developments and trends that we're seeing in the Asia Pacific region. And I particularly enjoyed some of that technical input, which really frames our thinking as we look to expand our business from our current site into other sites in the region.
Solar projects are now the cheapest source of new generation. So the world is accelerating the change in these electricity generation technologies. The challenge there is that these are intermittent technologies, and so to be able to work well in an overall electricity system, there's a need for storage. And by far the largest, most technically mature form of storage is pumped hydro energy storage.
Clearly everyone's engaged in this topic, otherwise they wouldn't be here, right? So they recognise the importance, they recognise the potential, but they're at different stages along that sort of energy transition curve. They've got different contexts, I guess, politically and in terms of their market design. And so it'll be really interesting to sort of see what they all go and do to sort of translate from this excellent workshop into some tangible actions and policies. I think the fact that it's not necessarily something in most places, not just Australia, that's theoretical, but is actually coming into practice now, I think is exciting and crystallising around that.
I think the most exciting pumped storage hydro projects from an environmental and social perspective are those that are solving multiple problems. They're not just increasing penetration of renewables and stabilizing the grid. They're rehabilitating old degraded sites. They're allowing life extension of existing hydro assets, introducing more modern environmental and social mitigation measures.
There's a number of challenges that the workshops highlighted, such as financing models for something that's a very long-term investment. And so I think one of the outputs of this workshop will be explorations of how financing models can be adapted to support development of pumped storage hydropower in market-driven economies.
So our primary goal here is to help enable transition. So storage is obviously an important part of having electricity systems with lots of wind and solar. And so we want to be able to support people making the decision to transition towards wind and solar. The challenge with pumped hydro, however, is that it's not obvious what the locations are in a particular region that are good for pumped hydro. So the work that we've done here at ANU is around developing an atlas of the globe for all of the potential pumped hydro sites, ranked for those which are economically most feasible.
I think what struck me is how many perspectives and specialists there are that are relevant to pumped storage hydro. So, someone knows about the economic aspect, someone knows about storage design, someone knows about financial viability and sources of funding, someone knows about environmental and social.
I'd also like to thank the ANU who have facilitated this conference, and in particular the leadership they provided to the industry in terms of pumped hydro, the identification of sites and the development of firm energy in the Australian market.